Let's turn our attention to Zamfara State, where the state government has denied claims that it gave 1 billion naira to bandit leaders for reconciliation or to pave way for the governor to begin illegal mining in the state. This development comes after a letter signed by the secretary to the state government surfaced showing the allocation of more than 1 billion naira to bandits and some other key players for reconciliation. TVC News' Theophilos Darufai reports.
Fighting trans-border financial crimes is one of the core mandates of the
Zamfara state government describes the claim as false and baseless and an attempt to distract Governor Dauda from his stance to crush banditry and kidnapping bedeviling the state without engaging in reconciliation with armed bandits. Secretary to the state government is insisting that the current administration in Zamfara state has no plans to reconcile with armed bandits nor engage in mining activities while the federal government ban on mining in Zamfara is still in place.
The purported memo allegedly said to have originated from my office, His Excellency the Executive Governor, is entirely fake, fabricated, and mischievous in all its entirety. The Zamfara State Government, under His Excellency Governor Dauda Lawal, has consistently announced its firm stance against negotiating with the bandit terrorists. We still maintain the position and that we will not negotiate with terrorists. The fabricated document and the baseless claims it contains are not only distracting, but also an attempt to erode the trust and confidence that the people of Zamfara have in the leadership. You may recall that the previous administrations have tried sulhu and dialogue with bandits and it did not succeed.
Mr. Nakwada also clears the air on the resignation of the former chairman of the Zamfara State Security Trust Fund, former Inspector General of Police Mohammed Abubakar.
The former IG, to the best of my knowledge, chose to voluntarily resign. The funds that they are quoting on that document, I don't even know why they got it, because the Security Trust Fund barely began operation how many months ago? So there was no way they could have had such an amount of money.
The Commissioners for Justice and Environment say mining contributes to insecurity affecting the state, and the government will not fold its arms and see people playing politics with innocent lives.
The Executive Governor of Zamfara State and the entire state government have not once involved itself in any mining activity.
The people who perpetrated this act will not go unpunished.
Theophilos Darufai, TVC News Gusau.
Secretary to the Zamfara State Government, Abubakar Nakwada, joins me on TVC News at 7 for more clarification on this development. Mr. Nakwada, you have distanced yourself from this letter circulating on social media. But how do you think the letter came about? Was it a case of misrepresentation or outright forgery?
Good evening, Nigeria. Just like we have made it abundantly clear in our press briefing yesterday, and we are still maintaining our position, the entire content in that letter is a forged document, and there is no way where a responsible government that is responsive to the yearnings of the people of Zamfara under the able leadership of Dr. Dauda Lawal will go into that kind of arrangement. It has never been part of our rescue mission agenda. Security is topmost in our priority areas, followed by education, health, and so on. So, I mean, the entire content in that letter is intended to malign and cause mischief, considering the modest achievements Dr. Dauda Lawal is already, delivering to the people of Zamfara. If you go across the state within the last 12 to 14 months, a lot of developmental projects are taking place despite the insecurity challenges. We are not deterred, and we are not going to be challenged with these kinds of campaigns of calumny. And the state has made it abundantly clear we shall not be tested, our will shall not be tested, and we have resolved to, follow up with this documentation to do whatever that is necessary possible to track down those behind this malicious document. We will not tolerate it, and security has remained a key thing for us. Negotiation has never been on the table for His Excellency Dr. Dawood Lawal. And again, for those keen listeners, it may interest you to note that Dawood Lawal in Nigeria, and in particular the Northwest, is one of the leaders that have consistently engaged with the highest level of the security apparatus in the nation. We have consistently and constructively engaged. I will continue to do that, and we believe that these are the only ways and means that we'll be able to deliver on the peaceful coexistence that we are yearning for in Zamfara.
All right, Mr. Nakwada, you have mentioned indeed that this is a clear case of forgery. But then, you know, like you've also mentioned about the concerns of the state government to ensure security in that state. So talk to us about the strategy that the state is adopting. You've spoken about speaking to them. What more are you doing?
We have adopted a number of strategies. One, we have identified gaps in the operationalization of the security operations within the state, gaps here in terms of manpower and equipment. So first thing we have done is to enact a law to establish the Security Trust Fund. Its sole aim is to be able to garner enormous resources, human and material, to be able to get the needed equipment and material to support all the security agencies. Key amongst them is to equally provide any security personnel that is working within Zamfara with an insurance cover. That way they will be able to effectively and efficiently operate within the confines of Zamfara state. That we have done. Then we also created the community protection guards with a framework to recruit about 5,000 personnel. We started at the moment with the 2,500, and they are up and doing, and they are supporting. And the whole idea is that they have a standard operating procedure which they are expected to work within the provisions and the ambit of the law that established them. And they are equally expected to work within the conventional security forces. Here we mean the Nigerian police and all the Nigerian military and all the DSS. On no account should any of our CPG now operate on their own. So in essence, it's just intended to enhance operationalization and also ensure that we cover the ungoverned spaces that are so enormous within Zamfara. That is why Zamfara has continued to be a safe haven for the bandits.
All right, Mr.
And
Nakwada.
For the terrorists.
I hear you, Mr. Nakwada, but let's talk about one
again?
other issue that is quite a germane in Zamfara state, and that is the issue of mining, illegal mining. And, you know, this issue also came up in this letter which you have now debunked. What is the state government doing to stop this menace and to ensure that the state is safe?
Thank you very much. You see, mining is equally on the exclusive list, just as the security is also on the exclusive list. By the time we took over a year ago, 14 months ago, we already met the ban on mining in Zamfara state. And we haven't made any significant effort to even request the federal government to lift the ban, because we realize the reports we have met is that mining is part of the things that are fueling the insecurity. And we said, well, since it's on the exclusive list, we'll continue to give the federal government the needed support, the needed cooperation in order to clamp down on those doing mining. At no point whatsoever that the state government ever participated since we took over in any kind of mining, even if it is a laterite mining. The Zamfara state has never been part of it. Talk less of, say, somebody is coughing huge sums of money that are meant to improve the livelihoods of the ordinary citizen of Zamfara to pay any bandit. So, I mean, that is what I've got to say. But, of course, we are working on frameworks to collaborate with the Federal Ministry of Mines to see that this mining aspect is streamlined for the general benefit and for the social well-being of the people of Zamfara and the nation at large.
All right, Mr. Nakwada. Secretary to the Zamfara State Government, Abubakar Nakwada, thank you for talking to us on TVC News at 7.